Hey, how's it going? RC Thornton here. Hope you're having a great new year. It's early January here in Phoenix, and it is cold outside. I haven't had to wear this thick of a jacket for like a super long time. It should be like in the 60s, but instead it's like 42. I'm sure everyone on the East Coast or like the Midwest watching this is laughing at me right now for being this cold, but that's okay. You know what? I wanted to take some time to come out here and record a video to talk about the 3 myths for business owners and resolving back tax issues. Look, there's a lot of information out there about fixing this problem, and the problem most people run into isn't a lack of information, it's a lack of knowing what information to apply and what's pertinent to their situation. So I wanted to talk about like the 3 misconceptions, the 3 myths that I really see, and I hope that by understanding this, you can use that as a stepping stone to implement positive change into your life. So let's start with number 1. Myth number 1 is that the IRS is just gonna like settle away what you owe. This usually comes in the form of when I talk to people, they're like, I heard there's these new qualification programs. I heard there's a fresh start program. I heard like that the IRS will reduce what you owe. The number 1 thing that I want people to understand when you have a really bad tax problem is this. The number 1 mistake you can make is to delude yourself into seeking something that does not exist. So for example, if you wanted to get in shape, and you're like, man, I want to lose 30 pounds in a month, but I don't want to go to the gym and I want to keep eating Big Macs twice a week. That's all I want. Like if I can get that, I'll do it. If not, I'm cool being out of shape. That's a delusional thought process, and it's not going to get you to where you want to be, and you're never going to find what you seek. What you need to understand with the IRS is, look, if you genuinely have a hardship beyond your control, like health problems or extremely low chronic income or extremely compelling reason, maybe you can settle under those limited circumstances. I've certainly helped people do it. But the reality is, for most going concern business owners, business women, like the clients we serve who might on paper have a decent income but have a massive tax problem, the solution is not a shortcut. It will never be waving your magic wand and having it go away. You have to understand the seriousness of your situation and not think of resolving one of the biggest problems in your life in terms of shortcuts out of that problem. That will keep you stuck forever, and it will only get worse. The IRS will work with you. The goal is, how do you protect yourself and your business from enforcement and get a true path forward on your own terms? And that can come in the form of many different types of resolution. But that is the goal of your situation. Is not like, hey man, if I owe 100 grand, I'm only gonna do something about it if you reduce it to like $5 or $5 grand. You're gonna be stuck forever. But if you're like, hey, I'm willing to work with you, Mr. IRS. Like, I know I'm gonna have to pay quite a bit, but I want to pay it on my own terms and as favorably as possible so you don't take my stuff. That's a conversation they're willing to have with you. And that leads to myth number 2. Some people believe the opposite. Some people are like, RC, I just feel like I'm so deep in over my head. No one's gonna give me the time of the day at the IRS. Like, they're not even gonna work with me. Here's the reality. Every single client I have ever had in my entire career, and this includes people that owe high 6 figures, 7 figures, multiple 7 figures in back taxes, every single one of those clients, the IRS has been willing to work with me and with that client to get this thing resolved. I've never had one single client in my entire career where the IRS is just like, sorry, Charlie, like, we're just, screw you, we're just going to start taking your stuff. They will work with you. The issue isn't will they work with you or not. The issue is, do you know how to negotiate with them successfully to come up with a resolution that works for you? And that's where most business owners get stuck, or the people that say like, they're not going to work with me. Yeah, because you don't know how to negotiate with them. But if you know how to play the game, it can be done. And we have just so many people we've helped that have been in really, really sticky situations that we've helped get this resolved for them. So that leads to myth number 3, which is especially prevalent in today's IRS enforcement environment, which is that if they're not really enforcing on you now, that it's not really an urgent point. So I get it. There's kind of like a cognitive bias we have towards, like, maybe we're in a bad situation, but like it's a workable bad situation on our own eyes. We're like, hey man, I hate owing the IRS. I hate not filing my taxes, but like it's kind of worked out for me so far. Like they're not showing up at my door or whatever. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because of the validation I've gotten from that decision. There's two realities you need to be aware of. Number one is the IRS actually released a pronouncement in December of last year of 2023 saying that in Q1 2024, they're going to start taking off the kitty gloves and start enforcing again, because COVID in their eyes is officially over and they're going to start taking this more seriously. So if you have gotten away with it this long without doing anything, that may very well change in Q1, especially in like February and March. So that plan isn't going to work for you anymore. But more importantly, like, forget about the IRS. Think about your own life. Like, what do you want, man? Like, do you want to just be some dude or some gal like on the run from the IRS the rest of your life? Like, who the hell wants to live that way? And so it's like, you got to ask yourself, like, proactively, like, instead of just being defensive and passive and like, okay, like, this sucks, but at least you're living alone. Why don't you ask yourself what it is you actually want out of your life and what you want to try to accomplish? And I guarantee you, if you're like most of the people we work with, you want like something more than just living a passive life of stress and being on the run. And I think, like, if you consider it in those terms, even if the IRS isn't showing up at your door yet, why would you want to live this way if you don't have to? Why would you just want to live on borrowed time? It doesn't make any sense, guys. And I say all this with the fullest of love. Like, I'm not trying to like come down on you if you're someone who believes or believed one of these myths. I just hear this stuff all the time. And like, I really, like, a big part of what I do is helping people get out of their own way so they can implement positive change in their life. So I really hope this helps. And look, if you do want some help on this, and if you do want someone to talk to, you're more than welcome to schedule a time with me. Somewhere around here, there's going to be a link you can click on to schedule a time with me. You know, I'll get on the phone with you and we'll kind of go over your options. It's not a sales pitch. It's not like, oh my God, I got to get this person to sign up for our service. It's totally up to you. But the point is to bring you some newfound clarity that might really help improve your life and give you a path forward here in 2024. So I hope you're doing awesome. And, you know, I look forward to talking to you soon.